Hey folks, Brad here, and today I'm going to show you how to get a round-trip flight from the US to Australia for $131. Here's the four-step process I'm going to be laying out for you today. First, we're going to check award availability at the three major US frequent flyer programs, which is United, American, and Delta. And then we're going to talk about how to get enough miles for this round-trip flight in one of these three programs that we find the best seat availability with by signing up for 2 credit cards to get the sign-up bonuses to equal that amount. Step 3, we're going to be talking about how to meet the minimum spend requirement on the cards in order to actually get the mileage bonuses. And then step 4 is pretty straightforward. We're just going to use the miles to book the flight. So let's get started on step 1, check seat availability. First, we're going to check on United. So I'm going to go to the United page. I'm going to click One Way. I'm going to click Award Travel. Now I want to go from Madison to Sydney. So I'm going to type those airport codes in. Now, I want to travel sometime in September. I'm not real specific about when I want to travel, which is good for traveling with miles. So I'm going to just put September 2013 in there. I'm going to search. And we'll see what comes up for September on United. So this shows what's available from Madison to Sydney in September. Now this cream color here indicates that there is Saver Award availability in economy class. That's what I'm looking for. This green color indicates there's seats available in both economy and first or business. So I'm just going to write down that there are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 flights available, 10 days where I can get seats at the lowest mileage level from Madison to Sydney using United. So I'm just going to write that down right here below. I'm going to write down 10 for United. Okay, now I'm going to search for the return flight, Sydney to Madison. Award travel, flexible dates in September. Search. So I'm going to see here what my return flight availability looks like. Oh, that's a lot better. Okay, so I've got 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 days where I can fly from Sydney to Madison at the cheapest level on United. All right, let's take a look at American. So I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to click One Way, Redeem Miles, Madison to Sydney. And I'm just going to do this 9/15, September 15th. Search. So this is our flight from Madison to Sydney on American. See what's available. Okay, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to click this Show Full Calendar. So here's the picture for September on American from Madison to Sydney. As you can see, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 possible days at the lowest mileage level. So I'm just going to enter a 9 here. Okay, I'm going to click this Find Flights to go back to the search. And I'm going to search Sydney to Madison. Dates flexible, September 15th. Click Go. Okay, scroll down, click Show Full Calendar. That's what it looks like on the return from Sydney to Madison. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we got 15 there. So as we can see, United and American are very similar as far as availability from Madison to Sydney, both getting there and coming back. All right, so let's check out our last one, Delta. Click one way, Madison to Sydney, and we're going to depart, we said September 15th. Dates flexible, book award travel, find flights. Okay, so we see here there are no low price options from Madison to Sydney in September, which is very typical of Delta. So I'm not even going to look at the return options because Delta just isn't going to work for us here. Okay, so we're going to focus on American and United. Now I'm going to tell you the difference between American and United right off the bat with award travel is that on United, when you book a round trip award, you have a free stopover option. So if I wanted to go from Madison to Sydney, I could have a free stopover in Brisbane. So if I'm flying with American miles, I can only have a free stopover in the US gateway city to get to Australia. So I can't have a stopover internationally. I couldn't stop over in another Australian city or Bangkok or anywhere in Asia. If I was flying through Asia to get to Australia, I could only stop over in, so in this case with American I'd probably be flying through Dallas, Fort Worth. So I could have a stopover in Dallas, Fort Worth. Just something to note, United tends to be a little bit better with flexibility as far as stopovers. So okay, I'm gonna look. So I think I'm just gonna go with United miles. Now for Australia, it's gonna be 80,000 United miles to get to Australia and back. Now I find that out, I'm just gonna click on one of these dates in United, and below it's going to show the results, the search results for September 9th. I'm going to scroll down until I find availability in this left column, which is Saver Award Economy. That's going to be the cheapest option. Scrolling down, scrolling down. Okay, right here. It's 40,000 miles one way and $101.20. That's to get from Sydney to Madison. Okay, so 40,000 one way, that's 80,000 round trip. And then that 101.20 is for the return, which is this one. So now real quick, I'm going to look at what my taxes and fees are going to be from Madison to Sydney on the leg there. Okay, award travel, search. Typically it's much lower taxes and fees to get somewhere from the US than it is to come back. So I'm just going to click on this September 1st. And it's going to drop down my options. Scroll down until I find Saver Economy availability in that left column. So here it is, 40,000 miles, $29.80. So we got $29.80. And that means we have a total of $131. This is what we have on United, 80,000 miles, $131. Okay, so my next step is going to be signing up for credit cards to get this 80,000 miles that we need to travel from Madison to Sydney on miles. Okay, so we've completed step one. We decided we're going to use United Miles to fly from Madison to Australia, Sydney, Australia. And that's going to require 80,000 miles on United. So the second step is to sign up for credit cards in order to get credit card sign up bonus miles with United. 80,000 miles is what we're looking for. So here are 3 credit cards that I would recommend in order to get sign up bonuses of 80,000 miles. The first is Chase Sapphire Preferred. And that's going to give you 40,000 bonus miles after spending $3,000 in the first 3 months of being a card holder. And as you see here, the $95 annual fee that's associated with this card is waived for the first year. So I would just type Chase Sapphire Preferred in Google, and I would sign up for this card. No hesitation for that one at all. This United Mileage Plus Explorer card, the public offer for that card, if you search United Mileage Plus Explorer, you go to Chase's website. Chase is the bank that is issuing this credit card. You're going to see a 30,000 mile bonus for this card. That's the public offer. With this 50,000 mile bonus, there are links around the internet that are offering this 50,000 mile bonus, and I would definitely try to find one of those, because if you just got the 30,000 mile bonus and you sign up for this card, you're at 70,000 miles, which isn't quite going to be enough for that round trip flight to Australia. And I like this low minimum spend, just $1,000 in the first 3 months. So if it were me, I would definitely try to find this card at the 50,000 mile bonus. Another option, if you are a business owner or run any kind of business where you want to keep your business expenses separate from your personal expenses, then I would sign up for this Chase Inc. Bold card, which gives you 50,000 mile bonus after spending $5,000 in the first 3 months. Now, $5,000 in 3 months might seem like a lot, but in the next step, we're going to cover different options for how to meet the minimum spend if spending $5,000 in 3 months isn't within your normal budget. Okay, so the next step, step 3, is to meet the minimum spend requirement on our credit cards. So these are the 3 options I'm going to be covering. The first is to make loans on kiva.org. So let's go to kiva.org. Now on this site, you might be familiar with it, you can make loans to people around the world who are trying to improve their lives. So one of the great things about using Kiva to meet the minimum spend requirement on your credit card is that you can fund loans on Kiva with a credit card, and there's no fees to do so. So how I might go about doing this is I'd go to find a loan, and I would sort by repayment term. This means the projects that have the shortest repayment time, where I'm going to get paid back the soonest, show up first. So I click this first project here. It shows a repayment term of 5 months. So I donate $25, not donate, I lend $25, which I will get back. And I can expect to get paid back in around 5 months for that. Kiva has a great repayment history. They repay 99-point-some% of loans, so it's a pretty safe bet here for meeting credit card spend. You can also sort by country if you want to support a project in a specific country. Sort by male, female, sector, attributes, all that kind of stuff. So you can find people that you really want to support, make a loan with your credit card, and then get repaid. Now, obviously, if you spend $3,000 making a loan, you're going to have to pay that back on your credit card before you're going to get money back from Kiva. So, in order to use Kiva, you're going to want to make sure that you have enough savings to float that credit card repayment before you get this back. A few other options: you can send up to $1,000 on Google Payments to anyone. So say I went on a trip and paid for the flight and food and whatever for whoever was with me. They could pay me back using Google Payments with a credit card. So they'd send me $1,000 on Google Payments using their Chase Sapphire Preferred, and that would count towards their minimum spend requirement. And then this last one, buy gift cards. So a lot of people in the frequent mileage game will go to different gas stations or Office Depot, and they'll buy gift cards with their credit card for restaurants or gas or different things that they know they're going to buy anyway. And so they'll stack all of those purchases into a gift card to pay a bunch of money up front, and then over time they'll liquidate those gift cards, and that's a good way to meet minimum spend as well. So there's 3 options for you. In the next step, I'm just going to give you a quick example once you get these miles of how to actually go about booking your flight on United. All right, now that we have 80,000 miles with United, we are going to book that trip to Australia. So let's go to United, and we're going to find the best legs, the legs that we want to book. So we're going to do a one-way search. Madison to Sydney, flexible dates, award travel, search. All right, so I'm going to look at September 1st here. And I'm going to scroll down. Now you're going to notice these different itineraries are sorted by total travel time. So you get 22 hours, 26 minutes. It gets longer as you go down. So I'm looking for something closer to the top than the bottom, ideally, because as you get to the bottom, you notice, let's go right to the bottom here, we're going to notice layover times are pretty long, six hours and more. So we're going to try to find something closer to the top. Let's see what we find here. Okay, here's one. Madison to Chicago, Chicago, San Francisco, San Francisco to Sydney. These layover times are pretty good. I want something pretty close to 2 hours. If there's a delay here, 2.5 hours, that still gives me enough time to catch my next flight. So I like this. I like these layovers. I like this departure time, 3:05 p.m. You'll notice sometimes you have flights leaving at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. That's pretty tough to get to the airport that early. So I like this a lot. So I'm going to write down this flight information. 9-1 Madison to Sydney, leaving at 3:05 p.m. Okay. Next thing I want to do is I want to have a layover somewhere because it's free when I'm booking round trip United. So I'm gonna have a layover in Seoul, South Korea. Let's see what the availability is from Sydney to South Korea. Well, that looks pretty good. So it looks like every day in September except the 21st, I can get an economy at the low level from Sydney to Seoul. So I'm going to check out September 8th, see what's available on that day. There you go, you got a direct flight from Sydney to Seoul on September 8th. So I'm going to write that down. September 8th, Sydney to ICN, and that leaves at 9:30 a.m. Okay, now my last leg is going to be from Seoul to Madison. So we'll do Seoul to Madison, flexible award search. So since I'm getting to South Korea on the 8th, I'm going to look, maybe spend about a week there, see what's available on the 14th from South Korea to Madison. Okay. There we go. I'm going to write that one down. That's 9:14 from Seoul to Madison through Chicago. Layover time 2 hours in Chicago. Leaving at 11 a.m. That all looks good. Okay, so I've got those written down. Now to book those, I'm going to go back to home. Multiple destinations I'm going to click on. And I'm going to enter in those different city pairs. Madison to Sydney on 9/1. Sydney to Seoul on 9/8. Seoul back to Madison on 9/14. Go down to the bottom, click Award Travel, click Search. Okay, now I'm going to go down. This is from Madison to Sydney. First leg, I'm going to go down and I'm going to select that leg that I wrote down earlier, which is this one. Okay, so there's my first leg. Now I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to select the second leg. Lastly, I'm going to scroll down, select my final leg. All right, so that itinerary from Madison to Sydney to Seoul back to Madison is 80,000 miles. You'll see we're not paying any more miles for that, for having that stopover in South Korea. And we have 157 now for the taxes and fees, which is a little bit higher than our original 131. You're going to see a Korea departure tax here. So we got a few more fees having that stopover in South Korea. But that's acceptable to me. So here's that full itinerary. And I'm just going to click Reserve. And that is how you can book a flight from the US to Australia with a free stopover. Free, I mean, not entirely free. We're paying another $25 in taxes. But close to free. That's how you do it on United. Okay, so you just learned how to get a round-trip flight from the US to Australia with a stopover in South Korea for $157. Normally that would cost over $2,000, so we're doing pretty well here. I have a few final words about pitfalls to avoid in this process. First of all, it's going to take some time for the miles to actually post to your account after you meet the minimum spend. So plan ahead for that. It varies depending on the different credit cards. The second you meet the minimum spend, that doesn't mean your miles are going to be available. So give it about a month, conservatively. The next thing is, if you don't pay your credit cards off in full every month, if you carry a balance, chances are the interest that you're going to pay using this technique is going to offset any value you're going to get for these miles. So if you're in debt, if you can't pay off your credit cards in full, if you're bad at remembering to pay your credit cards, this technique probably is not for you. And lastly, I mentioned that $95 annual fee on those 3 cards that's waived the first year. Don't ever pay that annual fee. There's no reason you should be paying credit card companies for the privilege of using their cards when there are so many cards on the market that offer valuable sign-up bonuses. So when that annual fee comes due, 11 months later, 11 months after you sign up for the card, give that number on the back of the card a call and ask them to waive the fee. If they won't, downgrade to a card without an annual fee. Or you can say, all right, I'll pay the annual fee, but what are you going to give me? Offer me another bonus. And then you can evaluate whether or not paying that annual fee is worth the bonus that they offer you. So yeah, that's what I'd recommend as far as moving forward. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this in the future, and comment below if what you thought of this video and additional topics that you'd like to see videos on in the future. Have a great day.